Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And today we are going to be looking ahead to our Premier League clash with Chelsea on Sunday in a game that I don't think many Spurs fans are particularly looking forward to, and one that I doubt even the manager is probably looking forward to, given what happened on Thursday evening at Bournemouth. And in a game where I think Angie's actions after the game by going and confronting the supporters has probably put even more pressure on himself going into this game, and one where ultimately a really bad defeat in this game could possibly signal the end of his time, or at least the beginning. I think Thursday was the beginning and the end of Ange. I think we saw a manager that is out of his depth, doesn't actually have the ability to change things tactically. I think we're seeing now as well in interviews that he just doesn't look a manager who's got any inkling as to how he can change it or how he can do things. This constant looking down and, yeah, mate, like it's not acceptable, mate. And we just got to try and it just doesn't look good for him, I'm afraid. And I think the end of his reign is coming sooner rather than later. Excuse me. Now, if we look at what possible team Spurs are going to be playing on Sunday, I think we know Foster will be in goal. I think Porro will come back in at right back, and then Doggy will keep his place at left back. Now, the centre back pairing is going to be interesting. Obviously, Dragusin will be in. Davies, we won't be seeing. Possible hamstring injury, so he'll be out could be out for a while. Now, there is rumours that Romero is possibly training on Saturday, and if he trains on Saturday, then who knows? He may have to get thrown in the deep end in this game due to the lack of centre half cover. If he isn't available, oh, excuse me, if he isn't available, then I think the likelihood is that we'll see Archie Gray put in as centre half. And, unfortunately, if Gray has to start the game as centre half with Dragusin, then God only knows Chelsea will be rubbing their hands together with that. And that's nothing on Archie Gray. I think he's been really badly mishandled by Ange since joining the club. But it looks like that would be the only alternative and only player that could come in there and possibly cover that role, as Ange seems to think, the generational defensive midfielder we brought is a defender for some reason. The midfield, again, I think ultimately, with Bentancur being suspended still, who'd you go with? I wouldn't be surprised if we see the same midfield three that was there on Wednesday night, or possibly Kulusevski move back in to midfield. I can't see Maddison being dropped. So, Basuma, who I think has been dreadful at the moment, I wouldn't miss seeing Basuma out of the side. Sarr, Maddison, Kulusevski maybe. But again, you just don't know what side we're going to pick. And, I don't think Ange actually knows what his best team is, to be honest. And then up front, I think with Son will probably come back in. So Son, Solanke, and if Kulusevski goes back into midfield, then obviously we see Johnson there, who again, if someone can tell me what Johnson offers this team, apart from tap-ins at the back post, which are great, but you need a little bit more outside of that, which he doesn't seem to deliver. And will Solanke score a goal again in a Spurs shirt? Who knows? But that's that they're the possible sort of combinations that we might see. And then if we have a look at Chelsea this season and see what Chelsea are all about, then obviously, their manager is Enzo Maresca in his first season at the club. And, he hasn't needed time to bed in as all Tottenham managers seem to need at least 2 years to bed in at the club before we can see some progress. They're forming the last 5, drawn 2, won 3. They've been in brilliant form, Chelsea, and as you can see, that reflects in the league table, where they're currently sitting in second, and Tottenham, after that defeat on Thursday, dropped down to 10th. Tottenham, so where we probably should be. Total points, Chelsea have got 28 on the board at the moment, so they're 8 points ahead of Spurs with 20. That hasn't changed since Thursday either. In terms of goals scored, Chelsea have scored 31 goals this season. And Tottenham not too far behind them on 28. And the one that did surprise me was goals conceded, and that is that both teams have conceded 15 goals this season. In the last three head-to-heads, we won the furthest away match, and then Chelsea obviously won both games last season with that crazy game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium where we were down to 9 men, and eventually, they managed to get the 4-1 win in a performance that you could probably say was when Ange's reign started to fall apart after that crazy night where he persisted with just playing that high line. So that's a little look at Chelsea. Now, if we're being honest, when we go into this game, it's Chelsea at home. I think we all know what's going to happen. And based off of the last few performances, Roma, Fulham, and then Bournemouth, I'm not really sure I give us too much hope going into this game. I think this could be one of those games where if we play like we have done in those last few games, then this could get really nasty, to be honest, on Sunday. And Chelsea with players like Cole Palmer, Nicholas Jackson, who's found some form. This is a team that have got really good players at the moment. Neto. I think if Cole Palmer turns it on, we could really be in trouble. And, this could be one of those games that gets ugly. I'm going to predict possibly a 3-1 to Chelsea, 3-1 or 4-1 to Chelsea. I don't see us getting anything out of this game. I think they're coming in buzzing. I think we're coming off the back of some really poor performances. We look flat. We look tired. It looks like Ange has run this team into the ground at the moment. I don't think the players are playing for the manager. And I think this could be the game where fans really do start to turn if we're on the back of a sort of heavy defeat. But this is Tottenham, and we just don't know. This could be a game where a miracle could happen, and for all you know, we could go and win 4-1 on the night. This is just Tottenham. But based off of what we've seen recently, I don't hold much hope going into this game. I think we're seeing the end of Ange, and to be honest, I'm not sorry about that. I think this guy has been found out. I think he's out of his depth. I think his whole coaching staff are also out of their depth as well. This isn't just aimed at Ange. This is aimed at the people sitting behind him that don't seem to have any clue either. This is aimed at players that are just not performing. Players like Basuma, Johnson, Solanke, who, yes, you say you can show me all the stats about he runs the furthest, he chases down the most. Great. I want goals from a £65 million striker because they change games and they win you games. Chasing the goalkeeper down doesn't win you a game. So, yeah, not looking forward to it. I think Chelsea win this game comfortably. And then we obviously have to move on to the next one and see what the repercussions of this game will be. But let us know what you think in the comments. Obviously, like and subscribe to Spurs Kings. Like and subscribe to That Spurs podcast. Let us know in your comments as to how you think this game is going to go, what you think the scoreline will be, and do you think after this game, if we lose, Ange's reign at the club is possibly done? As always, come on you Spurs. See you on the next one.